I don't know what to. I'm thirsty, so I have a beer and it tastes fantastic. I've got a glass of this fine bourbon.
Very good.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
glad
16-year.
Very
How do you pronounce
old.
that? Calumet.
Calumet, yeah.
Calumet.
This is the oldest bourbon we have ever purchased.
It's not necessarily the most expensive, but highly
still-
regarded,
It
man.
was still about 140 bucks
Yeah.
or so.
I'm just
Now
gonna
that it's
say it's
opened up,
fantastic.
I know when we first poured it, the nose was very oaky to me,
Oaky.
and the taste,
Yeah,
very tobacco-y, very
It's calmed
tannins,
down
lots
a
of
little bit.
tannins.
I feel the tobacco's
How
still
about
there,
now?
but I'm starting to taste now that some of the alcohol buzz has kind of floated away. I think the stone fruit palate is starting to come through.
That is an incredible nose now that it's been
I smell lots of vanilla
breathing.
Yeah.
now. I smell lots of vanilla now.
Anyway, so we're excited to talk about this bourbon.
Yeah, so it's Calumet, 16-year, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey,
Yeah.
106 proof.
Yeah. So, in case those folks don't know, dudes like us go shopping once a week, or we're supposed to go, and we usually buy a bourbon each, a decently priced one, 30 to 70 bucks each.
Right.
Somewhere in there. We're not trying to get the super expensive ones. And lately, the last month, we've been combining our money and purchasing a really nice bourbon for the podcast, so we can sample it and build up our repertoire, our collection, which is well into the 200s. I'm assuming by now, right?
Yeah, it's probably 200. I don't know how far. I need to count them again because we've actually cleaned out a couple bottles last time.
Well,
so.
yeah, we have dumped a few bottles into our infinity bottle. In case you guys are wondering, the infinity bottle. Once we fill up that infinity bottle, we're going to be auctioning that off at the Dudes Like Us festival that's coming up.
Reserve,
Oh, really?
$1,000 reserve.
I'll tell you what,
It's a gallon of
it's
whiskey.
a gallon of whiskey, and look, folks, when that is not there's not really bad whiskey in there. It's all good.
Right.
I mean, we don't really buy horrible whiskey, So yeah, sure, there's a few anomalies in there, but generally speaking, that's some quality stuff that's in there.
Right.
And to fill up a gallon, come on, I don't
Yeah.
know how much that stuff's going to go for auction, but dudes like us are excited, and dudes like us are here tonight to talk. It is September 20th, and we're getting ready for the holidays. My name is Sean,
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
and
Did-
this weekend sucked for me in fantasy football. Obviously for you too.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
think I
God.
was slightly disgruntled on Sunday.
Oh my God, you were
Yeah.
a pecker. It got to the point where at first I was kind of like, dude, I was about to dump the garbage on the middle of the kitchen, but but it
I
was
was
like,
highly disgruntled.
Yes,
but
you
then
were.
even Shelley was kind of like, yeah, you're a little peppery,
Well, to my benefit, I just drove 6 hours and I came basically straight over to your house. So,
Yeah.
and then my fantasy team is sucking ass, and then my Bengals sucked ass yet again.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I was a little disgruntled.
Oh, I tell
Yeah.
you what, you didn't do as poorly as Sean did.
Oh,
Oh, you
no,
know what? I
yeah.
didn't even see you at the final. Well, there's a
You
game
had
tonight.
you had more points than I did.
Well,
I mean, we didn't play each other, but
I think you had. Oh, I think you had over 100.
I had
points.
did
100.
have
I had
over
108. And but again, the person I'm going after, playing against careers, of course.
Of course. But I'm just saying, if you get over 100 points, you can't get upset.
Well, my
from a
wide
fantasy
receiver, I
perspective.
needed 50 points from my one wide receiver to win. He got 34.
Oh wow!
Wow.
So I was like,
he did his
You're
best.
like,
didn't he?
you're like, this could happen.
yes. I was like, I'm getting close.
Wow. But
But-
then, Sean, something happened on your team.
Did you break 50?
Oh, dude, I'm playing you this week.
50. He had 50 points.
I had 50 points, man. It was just a
That-
train wreck.
Oh, that is.
I had some heavy
a
hitters that
definition.
just didn't work out, man. I mean, I got Mike Evans who got suspended. He's not even playing this week now. He's suspended for an additional game, and
Right.
whatever, man. You know, if you're gonna have a shitty week, you might as well go all out.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get it all out of the way. And
That
of
was
course this
bad.
week's not looking much better, but I am playing I'm playing Paul here, so the Muskegon or Mud Rats. We'll see how that goes against the
I think
the
what frustrates me the most, what upset me the most, about fantasy football, especially this past Sunday, is I benched some people who didn't do well last week,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
and then they had
Yeah.
excellent games.
Oh yeah.
You know, those
This
are
week.
those are
It's the way it
honestly
goes.
those are rookie mistakes.
Uh-oh.
No, hey, look, I'm going to jump on the Barry bandwagon here. All right, this
No,
is the
I
thing.
had a just as good backup running back.
You didn't give him opportunity.
Sure, I did.
You gave him 1 week.
Well, because he
That's not
got
opportunity.
he got terrible reviews, and everything that I was reading,
Yeah. No, as long as you
Yeah.
did a little bit of.
they're like, yeah, he's not playing very well. He's not blocking or
Well,
anything. So I'm
yeah,
thinking, well, they're not going to play him
You
much.
have to look at the matchup week to week to week.
I have learned that if they're I don't even know what are those stars that are next to them. Some are 1 star, some are no stars, some are 5 stars.
It's what they project his output's going to be based on the matchup.
Yeah, but
Like if your receiver is your team, if the team your receiver is on is going against the best defense in the league, you're going to get like 1 or 2 stars in terms of.
So that changes week to week.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
It changes
right.
week to week, and,
So-
I'll make changes week. They may have 20 points, last week, and then I look at this week and I see that the quarterback was injured, and they're playing a really good defense. So I'm like, maybe I'll go for somebody who,
But then they end up careering and having like
Yeah, they
25
get-
points.
yeah, they have 11 touchdowns.
hey, look, it's okay.
It just pisses me off.
It's okay.
It's so
Now-
dumb. You guys should have figured out by now, but we can't control any of it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I mean,
it's all BS.
You can make educated decisions,
Right.
and
Still pisses me off.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you showed it too, man. You're very grumpy.
well,
I
on
was
top of
ornery.
that, the Bengals lost, right?
Yeah.
So that didn't help.
Yeah.
That's a double whammy.
Yeah. it was
And you know
double
what? The good. I'll tell you what. Had you been Paul and the Cowboys were beating the shit out of the Titans,
whammy. It was unconsolable. How would you feel last night? How'd those Titans do?
I turn the game. I just sit there and sulk, but I don't turn it off. I turned it off at basically the beginning of the third,
Oh, really?
and I've never. That's the earliest I've ever turned off a
Did
game.
they look? I didn't watch any of it. Did they look
I didn't
really
either.
bad?
Oh,
I
it,
forgot it was on.
it was so pathetic.
Well, Stephon Diggs had a great game.
Yeah.
Not quite
Oh
what
yeah.
I
I
needed,
mean,
but-
well, first off, Josh Allen's unstoppable.
right.
He's looking more and more like Mahomes. When Mahomes first came into the league, you know how he
Right.
just couldn't do any wrong.
Right.
I mean, he was doing no-look passes and all this kind of stuff. I mean, he's kind of settled down a little bit. I mean, he's still doing well, but I think he's becoming more human, like
Right.
more mortal. Anyway, but he's starting to look like that, where he'll be falling down, he'll just flip it, and it goes exactly where you know what I mean,
Right.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when I turned it off, I mean, it was pathetic. It was 24-7, and they punt to us, and we just muffed the punt, gave them the ball back.
And you're just like, screw it.
Yeah, no, that's when I was like, okay, we're watching Breaking Bad. Yeah, I did. Turned it off. Started watching Breaking Bad. And then Dawson's texting me, pick. They just threw a pick. And I'm like, I don't care. I didn't watch anymore. That they lost 41-7.
Wow.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah,
Bad.
Buffalo may be the AFC team to beat this year.
Oh, for sure. I don't think anybody comes close to Buffalo this year
No, I
on
think
the AFC side.
Yeah, I think Kansas City will play them tough. I still don't know what the Bengals are these first 2 games.
I don't either. I was hoping the Bengals. Well, of course, I was hoping.
They have the talent. I don't know what their offensive line
yeah.
still sucks.
They can't
balls.
protect them.
Yeah, can't do much if you can't protect your
And
quarterback.
they spent a shit ton of money on that new offensive line.
Well,
So
they
I
might gel.
That's what I mean. I don't know what they are. Maybe they figure it out because they have the talent. They just it's Cincinnati.
It can be so brutal. Your team and the Titans have a really tough schedule, so it's like
So I don't.
this could be really bad.
I don't know how the general dudes like us, community out there listening to this podcast, plays fantasy football. First of all, if you play fantasy football, most of you, I'd say 90%, if not more, don't have defensive backs, DBs and DLs.
Right.
Linebackers and defensive back, cornerbacks. In our league, we picked those specifically. So most people just have like a defense.
Defense,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I picked the Cowboys defense.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? That was cool for for some general stuff, and it's easy because it's kind of like, yeah, fuck it, it's a staple. All right, I'm gonna pick this one and we'll just ride it the whole year. I kind of like the having that dimension of being able to score because I mean you've got some pretty good seats in there by playing DLs and DBs. I
Right.
mean you could, but if you pay attention and you got to draft 3 linebackers. Just to make sure.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you
Yeah,
could
you
do that
could.
as a draft strategy.
And then they
I'm
all
not,
get injured.
I'm not sure I would sign on to that strategy, but
Yeah. I got a couple of good point earners playing right now between Micah Parsons and who the hell's my cornerback? But he's doing really well as well. He plays for the Chargers, I think, and they give me good points every week.
yeah, I usually. Yeah, no, I mean, I've got a really good week 1 on defensive points, so you never know. You never know what you're going to get on that deal.
No.
So,
Well,
anyway,
Well, I'll
it's
tell you
still
what,
early,
I was,
guys. Don't get frustrated with fantasy football. It's still early.
So-
It's gonna be fun.
I was watching this week on Amazon Prime. I don't know if that's what
Do
it
what?
is. What is it? Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Lord
they
of the
got
Rings, yeah.
They got some
The
series
Rings
that are
of
coming out.
Power.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, how retro is this? This is so awesome to go back and to re-engage into the Lord of the Rings. And I think what a lot of these companies are doing is awesome. Like the Star Wars, Disney. They have Andor. They have just a bunch of different chapters of snapshots of the Star Wars. And
Well,
just
side stories.
all
just
these little
characters.
now the fact that the Lord of the Rings is coming up. I mean, what's next?
Well, I
You
tell you
know?
what, a lot of the Tolkien geeks are upset.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's not following the lore correctly, the Tolkien history and lore correctly.
This is
and-
all like the alternative books and.
Well,
and
no,
all
it's
this kind
not
of
based
stuff?
off of any books,
Well,
but it's based off
hold
of
on.
based off of the lore, right? Of the story,
Okay.
right?
So I've heard that the writer Tolkien actually
He died.
He died a long time ago.
he based some of the storylines
On Star
from old writings found. I heard he was like a historian of
He was in World
Ancient
War. He wrote it when he was
stories.
in World War One or two, I think. That's how he escaped. He wrote the stories. Anyway, so
Huh, that's
yes,
fascinating.
so you have
well, that's why I said they said that he claims that some of these things that are in his story are true that happened,
could
thousands
be.
of thousands of years ago.
But it's you know,
Elves,
no. What he based what it is
hobbits.
are
There's
the
a bunch of short dudes
the Tolkien
hanging out in
purists
mountains.
are upset because it's breaking some of the whatever you want to call it, right? Just like the Star Wars nerds. As soon as you throw something in that doesn't make sense
Yeah.
within the
Did
whole
they give an
canon.
example of?
Well,
do you,
yeah,
do you
that they
know
have
of one?
black elves. A lot of the Tolkien nerds are upset about that. I could give a shit. It's
Like,
Oh, because they're making
Skin
Lord of the
color?
Rings woke.
well, no, it's not. Well, could be, but the Tolkien guys and gals say, well, Tolkien based all of this off of English history,
Right.
medieval times, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And the elves, the hobbits, and all that were a bunch of Anglo-Saxons.
Right.
So you're forcing this and you're altering it. So they're upset about that. I could care less. Because is the story good? Yes. Because it's not historic. If you're going to change history,
Right.
like Queen Elizabeth, or
Right.
whatever that in Bridgerton, screw that.
Right.
Screw that.
Yeah,
But
no, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Is that Bridgerton? How they're changing history and making it.
no, I
Making it
don't,
like
I don't
that.
agree with that. But but at the same time,
wow.
I'm also saying, James Bond needs to be a British dude.
Right.
Can't be a female.
Well, I actually listened to this recently. He can be if you're going to introduce something else, make it 009. Like give it its own identity.
Correct. Call it something else.
Right.
Start a new franchise if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, sure. I mean, don't take away from the uniqueness of what you're trying to introduce to the
Right.
British spy scene, but
Right.
don't change 007.
Right. No, but I'm really enjoying Lord of the Rings because I like Lord of the Rings. I read the books, and I've been thinking about I may read them again because I really enjoyed them. And there's a lot more in the books than in their movies. Of course, there's
always, yeah.
Of course.
So they're
these series,
claiming racism, misogynistic complaints, racism and misogynistic complaints.
What did the
They're claiming that they are
Yeah, the
racist?
thousands of so-called Tolkien fans have bombarded the internet with racist and misogynist complaints. On the other side of the spectrum are the fans embracing it. 25 million viewers tuned in to the series premiere, and it,
they're
know.
calling the people who are criticizing it racist.
correct?
Oh, I see.
no, hold on, no, they're
Well, they are because
Yeah,
they
they are.
said that all the characters need to be European, right?
And they're
Because
calling
that's
them
what-
racist.
Because that's what Tolkien based it off
It
of.
drives me crazy. They're not being racist. They just want the story to stick to
What the original material was about.
correct.
And I understand that. I get it. But in this case, I can look past it.
I
I know I
can
kind of
too. I don't
contradict.
care.
I contradict myself sometimes, but
That's kind of like Hamilton.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
Well, that's history, though, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, but still, I mean, it's Hamilton. Yeah, it's based on history. Obviously, there's they don't
They didn't-
recite things.
They didn't rap back then.
They didn't rap, and there weren't that many black people in politics. You know, that's my whole point. Is that there was a bunch of black people in Hamilton. In fact, they're all black, aren't they? I don't know.
And Hispanic, yes.
And Hispanic. I've never seen it. I've seen parts of
It was
it.
good,
and it's
actually.
actually
It was really good.
it's just I don't know. It's kind of a turn off from the point. Aren't they like making fun of oh my god, I'm lost my track. Was it what were they calling Hamilton or like
I've never seen it.
a misogynistic, or isn't he kind of a womanizer, beat his woman or something like that?
Oh, I don't recall that. I don't recall that.
You've seen it though.
I've seen 75% of it.
Well, I mean, it's a production. And
Right.
as far as the quality of the production goes, oh man, bunch of people running around dancing and singing
It's
and
good music.
It's
you
great.
know, I mean, from that, it's a show. But as far as using it as the gospel for
Okay.
rewriting history,
Like
no,
a
not so
historical
much.
narrative.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not. It's
And that's exactly what Bridgerton's doing too. They're not. This is a fictional historical piece.
yeah, but I
real
disagree.
characters.
I think that
No,
they.
oh,
real-
Hamilton is
No, well, Hamilton has Hamilton in it. Has Ben Franklin in it?
okay, and they're a different color.
Of course.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what if we wrote a play of Martin Luther King being white?
I don't know.
Don't you think
you get
that
shit
would
for it.
cause a little bit of shit?
Of course it
that-
would.
Would that cause a stink?
Of course it would.
I think someone would get upset, but it's just look. I didn't want to dig up that too much, but it's
It's
just
kind of weird. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a historical piece that was like. I didn't realize they were changing actual people to look to be different.
Well, I mean, there was some other Netflix series that came out where there was someone they made black that wasn't supposed to be black. It
it was
was
Bridgerton.
was that what it was?
Yeah, Queen of England.
I don't understand that. Okay. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, I refuse to watch it.
I just thought it was
Yeah.
a historical piece with fictional characters, and sure, you can change the dynamic of what it was back
No.
then. Sure, it's all fictional. Who cares? But I
No.
didn't know they were changing actual historical figures to be
Yeah.
somebody different.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay,
those
so now
are-
you're going to start. They're going to have a movie about George Washington, and they're going to make him a woman.
in today's world, you would see it. It'd be Georgina.
Well, this is what I'm saying, and that's exactly my point. I think people would be just upset about that changing the gender as they would be about changing the color, about changing the this, about changing the that. The point is you're deviating from who that person was.
Right.
Period.
So we got
In any way, shape, or form.
Right.
we got in a big family argument last night. When I say we, it was me. I got mad. We were trying to come up with themes for a Halloween party,
Mm.
and we're gonna do cowboys and Indians.
All right.
Ah, okay.
And it's the opinion of some
That's racist.
that's racist.
No, what they call that? They call that when you're stealing somebody's culture. What are they?
Cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation. So if you have people show up and they're dressing as Native American Indians, it's cultural appropriation.
No, you're celebrating the culture.
I know it's so dumb.
Was it the
I'm tired
young
of-
folks in the family who thought it was?
Of course.
Well, it wasn't me or my wife. So
yeah, the
you
young
know,
folks.
and
So,
it
yeah.
wasn't the producer. It was.
So what are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, I don't care. Frankly, I don't even want a Halloween party. I'm out.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought you were trying to wind that down.
I don't. I mean, I'm not really. I've grown out of them. I like to party. I like to have fun. I just would rather go over to your house and
Right.
for a big shindig. And it's not that I like to host parties,
Right.
but I like to have our gatherings. Smaller, in control.
Yeah.
The gatherings we have, I mean,
Are they out of control?
they
People laying just
They can be.
They're just laying
Dude,
on
I've
the ground,
had-
just like
I have a disc jockey that plays at the house. You know, there's a dance floor that's full. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, in the past, I mean, you've seen it. I've had the light trusses in my house where it's just off the hook, and whatever.
But I will say
That's what the wife wants.
And the producers got some Halloween costumes on the screen, and some of them are, Native American costumes. I would imagine there's some pretty racy,
Pretty sexy squaws.
yeah, some sexy.
Oh,
Well, not
there's
that one. That's a guy. Yeah, thanks
There's
a
some
lot.
pretty sex. Oh, that's a guy.
Way to pull the plug on that little
know.
line of
Yeah,
questions.
there's
there.
some. Wait, but she's 5. Well, come on.
No, we're not talking about that.
Yeah, and then what's next? Are they going to start outlawing makeup for certain people? Like, you're not allowed to wear that type of makeup. It's too dark for your skin. You're trying to look like a
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah. Wow.
I call bullshit on that.
There's so much that's it's just it annoys the shit out of me. I'm like, come on, man, can't we go back to a time where nobody gives a shit?
I know it.
Did you I've seen the videos on some guy from PragerU. He goes out and he was wearing I've seen him do a couple different things.
Yeah.
He was wearing a sombrero
Yeah.
and a blanket type thing, and he had the
Oh, yeah.
mustache, so he looked like a Mexican, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they tore him up.
And the kids, the white kids, were all offended.
Yes.
So he went into the Mexican neighborhood, and they were like,
so this was an experiment?
yeah.
Yeah.
So he was interviewing people.
Okay.
And they were upset. They're like, "You're racist. You're this. You're this. You're this." All the white little college kids were all
the
upset
liberal.
So he went into the Hispanic neighborhood, and they loved it. You look really good. I really like the hat. Great colors. Mustache, you need to work on it, but it looks good.
That's funny.
And it's,
So what am I supposed
Yep.
to do for Oktoberfest when it comes time for me to put my lederhosen on?
Well, you can't dress as a German person. That's cultural appropriation.
yeah.
What the hell? I mean,
Yeah.
what's next? Are we not allowed to go to the store and eat tacos?
All you could do is
No,
dress,
you can't eat that food anymore. That's
you could only dress
Yeah,
up like
it's
a
racist.
leprechaun. Ever.
Ever.
Well, I'm Irish, so
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You're
You-
only
you
a
have the
a
leprechaun.
right-
leprechaun.
You
Or-
have the right to dress as a leprechaun.
Or a
And that's it.
potato.
I'm gonna wear a kilt and have me shamrock right under my
Hold
kilt.
on. You're not Scottish. You're Irish.
It's
You
food.
cannot wear a kilt.
You-
That's cultural appropriation.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
They have kilts
For the
in
Irish?
Yeah, absolutely in Ireland. Yes.
I thought the Scottish wore kilts.
Well, they do wear kilts. They wore kilts on both sides of a. They live on the same island. What do you think? They're going to change the attire?
No, they didn't.
Oh,
They
you just
do.
crossed the
It's
54th
a completely
parallel.
it's a different island.
It is a different island.
No, it's up north a little bit.
No. Scotland is on Great Britain. Ireland is its own separate island.
Unbelievable.
Hold
You
on.
don't even
And
know
that
your
is
ancestry.
your
United
ancestry.
Kingdom.
That's your damn home, your
I
homeland.
know. You're from there.
Yeah, you're from there. That's so well said.
Yeah.
You're from there, Sean.
I knew that.
Have you ever even been to Ireland?
I haven't. Well, there's not that much distance. Let me see. Measure the distance.
Of course not. But that
between-
has been, if you can think of one place in the world that's had
Dude,
the
seriously,
the
there's-
most number of years of conflict, it's probably that one. The Irish and the Scottish and the English have been at each other's throats forever.
Yeah.
No. Well,
And only the
I don't
Scottish
care.
wear kilts.
That's not true, though.
Yeah,
The-
put it
the-
away.
the-
You have to sell it.
The Irish stole
Dude,
it.
you need to
And your
Google
tactical one.
Irish. Take it back.
No, your tactical kilt, it's gone.
No.
We're selling it.
It's got the
The
Irish
next-
colors on it. It
The
even
next
has the
dudes
Murphy.
like us garage sale.
Type in Irish kilts and see if something pops up.
Oh, look at that. It changed it to
I
Scottish.
think Sean's kind of panicking. God
Yeah, he is panicking. He's like, please let the Irish wear kilts. Please. the Irish
The
wear
most
kilts."
the kilt most traditionally associated with Ireland is known as the saffron kilt.
Originally from Scotland.
Made in Scotland.
It's got that little endorsement at the very originally made in Scotland. You dick.
I don't know. It
The
doesn't- it
saffron
doesn't
kilt
matter.
is
You-
a mustard yellow in color and often has shamrock appliques adorning the pleat.
All right. It doesn't matter. Hey, by the way, we support whatever country you want to dress up as.
Yeah. Well, that's what I have right there. I have that exact kilt.
Right.
The one that's a little bit left and down. That's the one I have.
It looks like a blanket.
It does look like a blanket. Yeah, but then you can take it off
Where
and
are
have
the
a picnic.
pleats? Where are the pleats?
Well, mine has a pleats on there. I guess.
Wouldn't that be fun though? You take your lady out there, you take your kilt off, you lay it down on the ground.
Yeah.
You get
Built-in
yourself
blanket.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
an instant picnic.
I'd call it my buffet. It's all you can eat.
Oh.
Well.
I forgot to turn my
Phone
phone off. I
etiquette.
apologize.
And we
Jeez.
both grab ours
I
and
know.
turn it off. Have you ever been like in well, I say if you've ever been in church, but I know the answer to that. But if you've been in a place where you're not allowed to have your phone ringing and somebody rings and like the whole place, they look over there and then they all can't check their own phone.
In meetings, that's happened.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everybody does that. They all check their phones. Funny.
You know, it trips me out that I think about the God bless it. What is it? What was the little Irish dude?
Leprechaun.
Leprechaun.
Rumpelstiltskin.
All right. So what trips me out is the remember the horror movies with the watching the Irish stuff kind of triggered me to the Leprechaun. Do you remember the horror movie with the Leprechaun?
I've never watched any of those.
Oh man, it's a tradition.
Which one had the leprechaun as a
It's
horror
called
movie?
Leprechaun.
Yeah, it's called Leprechaun.
Oh, God, that's stupid.
And it's this
Wow,
evil
how clever.
leprechaun, and he lives in. He comes out, and I think they have like 3 of them, and we watch
think
it
there
every
are.
Halloween. And
I've
I
never
just
watched them.
it
That sounds so stupid.
it is stupid, but it's
Oh, he's small. Just kick him.
no these guys.
But honestly, it can't be more stupid than Chucky.
It's not.
I mean, come on.
It is about as
A stupid
as
little
Chucky,
doll
man.
walking around stabbing
There's
people.
a
Well,
TV
the-
show now,
the-
Chucky.
The doll is a doll, but these leprechauns are they're about the size of midgets. I mean, they're you
Right.
know, or small people, whatever the fuck they're called. But,
I would say most horror movies are stupid and they're supposed to be stupid, but there's some really good ones like throughout history.
Yeah, there's been some really good
Well,
ones
when
out
did they
there.
when did they start coming out? Like in the 80s? I think one of the first ones was it Friday? I remember Jason. Which one was
That was Friday the
man.
13th.
That was I would say
Which one was first? Halloween or Friday the 13th?
Halloween was 76. I think Friday the 13th was after that.
was it.
Yeah.
So I don't remember watching Halloween, but I remember everybody watching Friday the 13th. To me,
I never got to see it because I was too young and my parents
Oh.
were not going to allow me to go
God,
see
it
it. So
was-
I never saw it.
I
I have seen it now.
there's a couple scenes. I don't remember the whole movie, but
follow
I
suit
remember
with
like
that.
one or two scenes.
I didn't like scary movies. Scary movies. I didn't do well with scary movies.
Did you cry?
No, I was scared. I didn't want to watch it.
You
Yeah,
got
Friday the
scared- you got
13th
scared
was
crap.
1980,
1980.
and Halloween came out in 78.
And you think about it now, if you were to put all those movies on TV right now, I think you'll find worse things on the Disney Channel for kids.
Probably.
Probably.
I mean, I've seen some pretty gruesome things on the Disney Channel, not the Disney Plus streaming
Right.
network. Remember the Disney Channel that was dedicated to,
Roly poly
things
oly.
that kids are allowed to watch?
That's terrifying. Roly poly oly.
What is that?
That was,
That's it.
that was- Brandon watched that.
It's an animated movie.
It was a
animated
TV show.
Yeah.
Probably Dylan watched it.
And it was computer animation.
It was
right?
computer animation. He was a robot.
It was kind of cool though.
Yeah, I watched it with him.
Yeah, I watched it with him
I've
too.
never watched it.
Yeah, I think. Well, the horror movies go all the way back to the 20s, right? I didn't watch those, but I used to
Oh, the
watch.
black and white
Well, I know-
silent movies.
Well, I used to watch.
Oh,
I remember. Again, you have 3 channels when I was growing up.
Frankenstein.
And I watched the Frankenstein. I watched the Mummy. I watched Wolfman. I watched Dracula. I used to watch those.
Vampires, yeah,
I used to watch all those old ones.
Dracula.
I guess those were the themes of the content of the original horror movies were exactly that. Dracula, Frankenstein, stuff like that. And then became all of them cabins by the lake.
Yeah.
But that was in the.
What's so scary about a lake house?
Well, I
love
think. Well, I mean, that was Friday the 13th. That was that one. There's just happened to be 15 of them. I think.
I know.
I like
Right.
those commercials that mock Halloween and the people are running around.
Yes.
And they're like,
Yes.
maybe we ought to hide in this shed
Oh, yeah.
filled with
That's
Chainsaws.
great.
chainsaws.
Oh, that's a Geico. That's a Geico commercial.
And he raises his eyes. He's like, oh God.
yeah, really, the horror guy, the killer is like
Should
shaking
we take
his head
the car?
at
No, we don't want to take the car.
Right.
them. It's a great commercial.
That's stupid.
Well, why don't you play? Why don't you play the Halloween theme song real quick?
Halloween. This is one I've never seen. but I recognize the music.
I recommend
This
watching.
stuff was supposed to be scary.
Watch the first one. Again, it's not violent as far as gross.
It's all visual. I'm sorry. It's all like in your mind, psychological.
I think those are the best. Those are the ones I like anyway. Where
see, I could play this on the piano.
It's like 3 keys.
Wow, yeah, I could play those 3.
I hear 4.
Nope, 6.
So if you were in a lake house with a bunch of other people,
and you heard that music,
and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, you turned out all the lights and just jammed this as loud as you could, how many people would actually get uncomfortable?
Now you hear everyone.
I think if you just had it barely audible, so they'd be like, "What is that?"
And you walked around with an axe.
Or you stick like a boombox out in the woods, so it's coming from the woods.
Nice.
Somebody's watching a movie out in the forest.
Or the Friday the 13th little sound that they used to do when the bad things were about to happen.
Oh yeah.
This is old school stuff. So we got Halloween, and what about Friday the 13th sound?
I don't know. Do you have Friday the 13th up there?
Did that have a theme? I don't remember. I'm sure it had a theme.
It had a certain noise.
I mean, because look, we have The Thing. There's a bunch, and then we got the Freddy Krueger.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Will Smith did a song about Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think he did. Yeah.
Was it about slapping people?
Oh God, the poor dude.
Could be. Yeah, play that real quick. It was the sound that was.
All right, so this is the original Friday the 13th. The poster. They're in the forest, and
No, it's the sound. That.
That was.
Yeah, I tell you who had another good one was
that Psycho.
Psycho.
Oh, Psycho. Was that the one?
Yep.
Yeah,
that was
Psycho. Was weird, and I saw the making
this
of
is
Psycho.
Now. We're gonna have to stop this before I get a migraine.
Yeah, can you imagine just blasting that? Just
so the Psycho one is an interesting.
Why don't you play that for Halloween?
I think we have that on there.
We do. Okay. All right. Sorry.
So we have when they were filming Psycho, they were trying to, because it's black and white. They were trying to figure out what do we use to simulate blood, and they used Hershey syrup.
Yeah, it was chocolate syrup.
Oh, but it was black and white, so they didn't have to worry about the color.
It needed to be the right consistency and just dark.
Yeah, the viscosity,
But she had chocolate running all over her body.
Oh, it was all over her face. Her eyes were glued shut with it.
Like you glazed donut.
That's really?
Well, I was waiting for Sean to say it.
Well, and he didn't, so you jumped
Alfred
in there right away.
Hitchcock's Psycho.
Wow, you wasted no time with that one. Anyway.
I've seen this one once. This movie once.
But
the one I used to watch a lot from him is The Birds.
The Birds.
From Alfred Hitchcock?
Yeah, the Alfred Hitchcock.
Well, didn't he have the one where the guy sits by the window and watches people murder people?
Yes.
Called a seat.
Something by the window.
By the window, yeah.
I don't remember what exactly
Birds
it
by
was.
the window.
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he was watching this guy seemingly kill somebody and then seemingly bury them in the garden.
Right.
And, stuff like that.
He tries to solve it.
That's some creepy shit, So, Mr. Producer, if you could kind of pop to the middle of this song, or just
No,
Why,
it's
you think it's going to get better?
It's a 7.5 minute song.
pop to the middle of it, something like that. Just, somewhere. Yeah, right where you see here that little.
Oh, where it goes up like that, I see. There you go.
There you go. Somewhere over there. All right. Because this was the scary stuff. Because, this is happening where, she's in the shower and he's walking into the hotel room.
Dressed as Grandma.
Got the key. He's dressed like Grandma and he's got a butcher knife.
Spoiler alert, in case you didn't know. But
yeah, I was going to watch it tonight.
There
here
it
he
is.
He pulls back the shower curtain, starts striking forward. One stab into the chest, another stab into the back. Hershey syrup all over the floor. Screams.
What is it about
Norman
the whole
Bates.
vulnerability of being in the shower while somebody's going to kill you?
All right, that's good.
because you're
Thank you.
nude.
They just want a nude scene.
You're nude, I guess. And you can
Yeah.
see through the shower curtain.
Wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis one of those?
She was in Halloween.
Anthony, who was
that's
it?
right.
Vera Miles was the actress in there, wasn't
No, it was not. It was not Vera Miles.
Huh.
It
So I
was-
mean, if
it
you
was,
had to
Janet
name
Leigh.
a top 3 of your favorite horror movies of all time, what would they be?
I don't really.
I think Poltergeist.
That's definitely in my top 3.
I would agree with Poltergeist because it wasn't. It was a horror movie, but it wasn't that bad. It was a family-friendly horror movie.
It absolutely was not.
I thought it was.
I think it was also the timing of our life. We were what, 13?
Maybe that's what it was.
14 or whatever. I think it was the timing of the life.
Yeah, that was scary because
It
you
was
have
scary.
I mean, for those people that don't know what Poltergeist is, it was this family that moved into this neighborhood that they built the community on top of an old cemetery.
Old Indian cemetery.
Indian cemetery.
And there was all this weird stuff going on, and
Because they had a Indian themed party.
yeah, is that what
They did? I don't remember
They
that.
did not have an Indian
No, the
themed
Cowboys
party.
an Indian themed party, and then all hell broke loose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I thought it was interesting the way they had those little portals that popped up throughout the house, and they're kind of like, "What the hell?" They threw a tennis ball into one side of the portal, and would it pop out on the other side of the
It was
portal
all
in the
kind of
house?
had like pink schmag all
what
over
in the
it.
hell is that? And then you had that small lady, the midget lady.
With
I
a
don't even know
very
if she's a
southern
midget.
accent.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
you have to walk towards the light.
To the light. Like a Southern Belle, like from Georgia or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
she was
really
creepy.
creepy. Yeah,
There she is right there.
There she is.
yeah.
Yeah, the
She had some pimp ass glasses though, with those shades.
those, are
Yeah.
19, those are the definitely 80s shades. I remember the scene that really got me the most is when the guy rips his face off.
Yes, in the shower,
Holy
in front of the
shit.
mirror.
In the mirror.
Well, he has like a zit or something, and he starts
And he
picking
starts
at it,
picking at it.
and then he starts tearing his face off.
Yeah. Well, there he is
I
right there.
creeped out when the boy was sleeping in his room and that
clown.
clown was under his bed, and
Oh.
then it started coming out, poking around, and shit started flying around the room, and then
Yep.
something was tapping on the window. Then it was a branch, and the
Yes.
branch came in and pulled him out, and then chucked him inside the trunk, and he was eating him. He was eating the wow.
Did it sound like Jabba the Hutt?
He was.
Apparently, was
Oh,
Jabba.
Daddy Shumba.
You know what's unfortunate? Yeah. You know what's unfortunate about this is there's these actresses have died like shortly. Like that little girl, she died very young,
Yeah.
and the older sister was kidnapped and murdered
What?
What?
after this movie was made.
What the hell for?
Her boyfriend.
And so there's a conspiracy
that-
that anybody
Good God,
associated with
man.
that movie
No.
ended up dying
It's,
somehow.
it's either that or I can't remember if it was her. Or maybe a pizza or a fan came up and shot her or something like.
Okay, but
Dominique,
Craig
Dominique,
Nelson's still alive.
Dominique Dunn. She's the one who got killed, I think, right after this movie came out. It was either a fan who shot her or her boyfriend got her and killed her.
God, that's awful.
Yeah, she didn't last long after this movie came out, unfortunately.
And I do remember the little girl being like dying of cancer or something.
Yeah, she did.
Heather O'Rourke.
Yeah.
Carolyn.
And didn't she
Head
go
towards
into the
light,
TV?
Carolyn.
Yeah, she went into the TV or something.
Yeah.
Is this the one where they go, they're here?
Yeah. She's staring at the static TV, and it's like, yeah.
Okay, can you
Wow.
stop doing that?
Nice.
Yeah, that was a little unnerving.
I think
Yeah, that
Pulp-
was a good one. That was a really good one. I would say that like, I know a lot of people are into horrors and stuff like that, but I remember when that one came out, it was like everybody had to go see it. It was like a
Yeah.
mainstream.
Yeah, that
so
was
Steven
mainstream.
Spielberg.
Yeah, a mainstream.
then you
Everybody
have-
had to go see it. Type
Then
of
you
movie.
have the ones that are just absolute panic attacks, which is like The Exorcist, where it's
That-
kind of like, what
Have you watched that?
Those are hardcore.
Have you
man.
seen that movie?
Yeah, I've
Yeah, I
actually
think
seen
I've seen
The
it.
Exorcist, and that one, wow. I mean,
That one sticks with you. It did with me anyway.
yeah.
Well,
that-
and then Amityville Horror is not much better.
oh,
I never-
wow.
I
Forgot
never-
about that.
I never saw that one.
Oh yeah, that one was just as creepy. I thought.
That was based. That's a real house.
Right. Yeah.
That's a real house. Yeah,
Anyway.
The Exorcist creeped me out. My sister and I rented that when my mom and dad went out disco dancing back in the day
Wow.
at John Q's.
Were they wearing like all these one-piece bodysuits that like
gosh.
shimmered and
I don't remember. I think my dad was wearing a brown suit. I have no idea.
they
I
went
don't
out
remember.
disco
But
dancing?
yeah, they'd go dance at it. There back in the day, it was disco, right?
I'll tell you,
That's
we're
awesome.
looking at pictures of The Exorcist, and I'm telling you, I'm getting flashbacks of that girl. They did the makeup on her incredibly well,
Oh yeah.
and for being such a young child,
She was possessed.
She really did a great job looking possessed, and I tell you,
Like
that movie
better than Sigourney Weaver.
that movie scared the
Yes.
shit out of me.
Yeah.
That movie scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, when she crab walked.
Oh, I mean,
She does. She crab walks.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
on the ceiling.
No, across the floor. And then she vomits pea soup
yeah, just everywhere.
everywhere.
You know, and it's may the Christ something of Christ compels you, the power of Christ compels you. Is that what it is?
Oh, the priest who's trying to.
Yeah, they've got the holy water there, and they've got the cross, and the power of Christ compels you. The power,
And the voice is like this. And then she just vomits everywhere.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. What's weird is she's cussing like a sailor, and she's what, 12? Right?
There is no carrion here, only Zur.
Yes.
Yeah, you're crossing the streams there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, The Exorcist, I won't say that's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah,
but,
Exorcist, I won't go see ever.
yeah, I saw it once. It was
Yeah.
enough for me.
Yeah, done.
Another one of my favorites, and it could be because I went to the theater to see this. My dad drug us up. For what reason, I don't know. We saw The Thing, and that came out in 1980. So I was, or 82. And what year did The Thing? 82. So I was
Yeah.
12
Wow.
when this thing came out.
I didn't. I've seen it,
And it scared the crap out of me
it
at that
didn't-
time.
This I've never
It
seen.
didn't scare me at all.
Were you 12?
This is Kurt Russell.
I mean, I was 12, 11 or 12. I mean,
No, it creeped me out.
Look at that hair on Kurt Russell, though.
Yeah, he was well bearded and well maned.
Yeah, lots of hair going on there.
quite the pelt.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I recommend it. It's very, very well done.
That looks really bad.
Well, I mean, considering 1980s
I know.
when that came
The
out,
special effects.
it
was
was pretty good, and the storyline was pretty solid too. You know, what I
Yeah.
mean, considering they're remote in the middle of the Antarctica,
Yes.
and this thing was frozen, so they had no idea. They just unveiled it, thought it out, and all of a sudden it's a communicable.
starts harassing them.
It's an alien, right?
Yeah, it's a
that's
communicable alien that jumps from blood to blood.
and it takes on the form of that person, so it absorbs you basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
Leaves the dead body, and then you just goes on, and you're like, and then you know it's them, because if you were to cut open their finger
Oh, that
or
was
something,
intense
and then
scene.
you take heat and apply it to the blood, then the blood will jump out, and then at that point you kill the. Oh man, it was
Yeah, that was a
that
tense scene
intense,
when they had
man.
them all strapped to the sofa
Yeah,
because they all suspected that these 4 people were this alien.
one of them was.
One
You
of
know,
them was. They didn't
it-
know who, and they were killing
It
people.
always tripped me
Oh,
out.
wow.
That black guy, that he took that razor and cut his thumb
It
to
looked so
prove it.
real.
Oh my god! And I was just like, it was.
It looked real.
Yeah,
But they
So
were
everybody was freaking out and like.
well,
weren't
it was.
sure.
They were all sitting there tense, and Kurt Russell was heating up this
God.
piece of copper, and he'd stick it in the thing of the blood. And it would fizzle, fizzle,
Yeah.
fizzle.
And he gets up the
and he
next
gets
one.
to one, and the blood jumps out of the
Yeah,
vial.
this freaking vine just populates and shoots out, and the crystallization just comes, just comes at you.
and,
Like,
then the guy on the sofa starts seizing, and stuff starts flying out of him, and the guys are still strapped next to him, and they're freaking out because this thing's over here, kind of, the spaghetti's flying out of it and everything. and
Oh my god.
It was, it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they're hopping from. It's almost like there's pods out there in Antarctica where they've got these little tunnels, these little metal tunnels that they travel from pod to pod. You know, like
And I
this
think
is
I think the environment was part of it as well, because he did a very good job in capturing the desolation and just how miserably cold it is out there.
Mm.
Here they are on the sofa.
yeah.
Like, get me out of here.
Yeah, I never
looks
forget
kinda
that
funny.
black guy. He was like, "Get me the fuck out of here!" Totally turn it up a notch.
Yeah, I recommend it if you see it. Yeah, it's old. Some of the special effects may get really, but
You know
It's
what I want to
good.
hear? I'm Mr. Producer. If you could pull up Nightmare on Elm Street, Will Smith, and this was a staple in, was it 84 or 85?
I bet it was
Nightmare
later
on
because they were like 5 or 6 Elm Streets, wasn't there?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
there were
got
a
and Will
bunch.
Smith.
Is
And
this a song? What,
yeah,
what
it's
do
a
we
song
got going
from
on
a
here?
video. Seriously, you've never heard this?
I've heard it and blocked it.
I'm sure I have.
Yeah, just play the soundtrack or
What are we doing?
Uh-oh.
right there. All right, so he's got it's a DJ Jazzy Jeff, and he's popping it up on YouTube in the Fresh Prince, a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Doctor, what on earth do you think happened to that poor boy?
Nurse, in all my years of medical practice, I've never seen anything quite so horrid.
This came out in 2018.
Oh my God.
See?
No, it did not. But what? Have you heard this?
I'm sure I will in a second. I'll recognize it.
Well, it sounds like all his music.
Yes. So he's been around doing this kind of shit a long time.
This was 1988.
Yes, I remember.
All his little songs sound the same.
Oh boy. I bet you he regrets this video.
Whatever. You know what? That's just the thing. You gotta imagine in 1988 he was rich and popular. You know, and you don't have to play any more of this.
Yeah, you could scrap
Yeah,
this.
please.
But the thing, to jump back to the slap from Will, you know, and just the way he is, you can imagine someone that doesn't have to need for anything from the early years of the '88, and I don't know when the show came out with The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
It was
that
late 80s, I think.
and yeah,
Early
so,
90s, maybe.
I mean, he did not have a fantastic rapping career. I mean, he played a couple songs. Yes, they did make it well because they were more kind of a theme-oriented stuff, and it was because it was Will Smith. But it sure the hell wasn't because Will Smith was good, because he cannot rap. I mean, he's kind of horrible,
Right.
you know. And I like some of his movies. You know, he's got a lot to say there.
Bad Boys.
You know, I like the movie
Wild
where
Wild West.
there was a catastrophe with these.
I Am Legend.
Independence
Yeah,
Day.
I Am Legend. I Am Legend was
Actually good.
Classic movie, man.
I thought it was good.
enjoyed that.
That was a
very
horror
well.
movie because that was a vampire-ish
Yeah.
movie.
And the
Yeah, it was
fact
good.
that
Zombie.
yeah, they were coming after him, and
Those
he
were
had all that
vampires.
stuff
They only
set
came out
up.
at night.
But
Zombies.
what
No,
the
they were
there was
vampires.
No, they weren't vampires.
you had
Vampire
mentioned
zombies.
They were zombies.
Independence Day. I mean, that was a good movie.
Yeah, that was entertaining.
Yeah, it was good. He
Yeah.
was a fighter pilot.
Yeah, there's the Legend. I enjoyed.
I
that.
really enjoyed that one. And then he had the one where he was a superhero, but a bad superhero.
Hancock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hancock.
what was? I never saw that.
That was
What-
not very good.
Yeah, what was
Well,
the deal on that?
Well, he was
I-
a drunk and
He was.
Well, what's wrong with that?
He was he was not. What do they call it? He was immortal, and you know
he was bored. He was like, I'm
yeah,
done.
he's been
and-
alive for hundreds of years, and he's just kind of like burnt out on life, and he's kind of like, fuck it, I don't care.
I'm drinking.
And basically, but the thing is that the movie had a lot of potential because there was like part of his mind he had forgotten the past, and you know he was married with this other woman, and there were a lot of things that came out that just the movie didn't present it very well.
Right.
You know, it made it kind of
Yeah,
hokey.
I don't remember it
teeny
being
bopper
very
kind
well
of-
received. That's for sure.
They wanted to have fun with it and kind of give it a Will Smith funny kind of air to it, and it just wasn't
It
like
didn't
that.
didn't do very well.
Uh-uh.
I didn't care for it.
It didn't work.
No, it didn't work for me anyway.
It really could have though. It had the potential, and and frankly, I don't know if somebody else could have pulled it off like Will Smith. You know,
Maybe Martin.
Oh, so they're trying to make it all slapstick.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some comedy to it, or they try. Right.
What other horror movies? I'm trying to dig deep. We got the Nightmare.
What about Alien?
Alien was a
Was Sigourney Weaver?
fantastic.
The first one.
Yeah, you know what? That one got my balls to shrink up a little bit. You know,
That one was awesome.
you got the oh man, we're gonna get
That was
down.
Alien.
Oh, that's
that was the second
Alien.
one.
Oh, that was the second one.
And I consider that more of an action movie than a horror
Bill
movie.
Paxton.
You know?
Agreed.
I think the first
Second
one was a
one-
horror movie. I think the second one was an action movie.
100% agree. Because remember, the thing's loose on the spaceship, and they don't know what it is or where it is.
Well, they didn't know
Ah.
until the guy's stomach erupted.
Yeah.
That whole scene, if you weren't prepared for it, you're just like, holy shit.
Well, okay. So they go out and they visit. There's like a homing beacon,
right.
and they go out to a ship or something, and the guy gets attacked, and he's got the deal. It breaks through his mask, right, and it lays the seed in his stomach. But they didn't know that.
Well, no. Well, they saw that it put something down his throat. And yeah, you're right. It put the egg down its throat.
The egg, yeah. And so they have him, and they're not sure how to take it off without killing him.
Right.
And so finally, it just releases from him.
Right.
And they're like, okay, well, I guess we're good here.
Right.
And then
They're all sitting down to eat.
Yeah.
And he starts choking and coughing, and
They lift up his shirt, and
he falls down. He didn't lift his shirt up.
or something. You saw
it,
the
the
skin
blood-
moving
the blood
underneath,
just went.
it shot through his stomach.
and you
Yeah.
got that little alien that pops out. Hello, my baby. Hello, my mama. Da-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
What is that from?
Isn't that Spaceballs?
Is-
I think it's Spaceballs.
That's right. I forgot about that. That was hilarious.
But that was the start. Now there's, fucking 6 Alien versus Predator
I
movies
know
and stuff like
they
that. now,
ruined
so-
it. After to me, I don't think it ended after 2. Like nothing happened after
Yeah,
2.
3
me.
was pretty bad, where they ended up on the prison colony.
Yeah, I
and
remember that
then-
one.
I know there's a 4th one. I don't know, but it went downhill. The first one was exceptional. The second one I think was the best.
Oh yeah, it's one of those rare situations where the sequel was better than the first one.
Right. Well, they're 2 different styles of movie.
They
I
are.
think.
They are. God, it was so good though. So good.
And there's a little picture of the alien Prometheus. The thing's shooting out of, and you're like, what the hell? I mean, looks like
Yeah, and then it takes off, and then that's when it gets bigger and bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
and starts killing them one by one.
Yeah.
yeah, that was a crazy move. That was actually scary. And you had the android on that ship.
Yeah. Had milk.
Yeah,
And
milk
blood.
as blood.
And
Now, that
milk
was
and blood.
creepy.
Yes.
So there's a couple more that and we've talked about some of these. We need to go into like the Lost Boys. I don't know if that's necessarily a horror movie, but
Yeah, it was a good movie.
It was
I
good.
liked it.
but I think one that was kind of broke the mold was Scream.
Are
was a-
these the funny spoof movies?
Well, it's the one where he wears the big white mask.
Yeah,
right?
no. I mean, the first one wasn't a spoof, I don't think,
No.
and
I
that
don't
was
think
with,
I don't think they necessarily were. Courtney Cox was in it.
well, and it had Nev Campbell.
Yeah, Nev Campbell.
Scream. So, okay, then what are the movies?
Scary
Scary
Movie.
movie. Okay,
Scary
I'm
Movie
okay.
was the
That-
airplane
I
esque.
get those messed up.
Yeah, Scream I thought was done very well.
Scream was an
It's like someone
actually
calls
scary
up.
movie. Yeah.
And on the phone, what are you wearing?
Yes.
What are you doing?
And he's in the house.
I'm upstairs in your bathroom
Wait, which movie is this that you're
taking
talking
a
about?
dump.
That was
talking
Scream.
about
That
this
was
was
Scream.
Scream.
That was Scream.
Okay, but there's another one where they say, "Have you checked the children?" And they record the call, and it's coming from inside the house.
That was I think that's an older one. That's
That's
like
an
the
old horror movie. That
late
was good.
70s, early 80s. Look who's someone's calling or something like that.
Yes,
I remember that.
that was super creepy.
Yeah, I'm sure Scream stole a little bit of that
Oh yeah,
for that whole scene.
because they're like, "That's coming from inside the house."
Yeah, but I think that one was well done. It's for one of the newer ones. One that I also liked that I also saw in the
That when a
theater,
stranger calls.
When a Stranger Calls. Yeah, is American Werewolf in London.
That
Have you watched that?
That was a
that
good
with
one.
Michael J. Fox?
No, that was Teen Wolf.
Oh,
Close.
Not quite the same. Yeah. No, that was really good. The American Werewolf in London.
Yeah,
and
they-
it had some racy scenes. Woo.
Some nookie scenes.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I do.
I remember.
I watched it when I was fairly younger.
oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
was
know.
kind of like, wow.
Yeah, I
Like the
know.
old roll out whackatorium, huh?
Well, I know it
Oh,
had one of the
no.
best at the time werewolf transformation scenes.
They had a really
Is
good
that where the
one.
hair follicles are popping through?
Yeah,
the
they're popping
skin
through,
and
and his arms get
the
long,
fingernails
And
are
his
starting.
nose
to-
goes.
and the music in the
Good
background.
Lord.
The music that was playing was CCR, Bad Moon
Yep.
Rising,
Yes, it was.
and it was great. Great scene.
It was a great scene.
And his snout gets long.
I've never seen it.
That's good. I recommend it.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I think and there's some comedy to it as well, because his buddy, who they're walking across the England or whatever
Mhm.
together, gets attacked, and the guy who turns into a werewolf obviously was scratched. The other guy was mauled and eaten, and he comes back as a ghost, I guess. But as the movie goes on, he decays. So every time you see him, he's a little bit worse. So,
right?
so at the very end, he's like part skeletal and everything. So at the beginning, he's all really nasty looking, but he continues to decay as the movie goes
As
on.
a ghost.
Yeah, as a ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
No,
like,
it's
I
really
won't be
good.
able to rest until you die. Basically, he wants him to kill himself. He goes, I won't be able to rest, and look at me. I'm a mess.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I do remember that.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah,
It was a good one.
I think the other one that kind of left a mark on me. I don't know if you saw it, was The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
Was that do you think that was a horror movie?
I think so because
It's more like a sci-fi movie.
well, it could be but anyway, I think it was very well done. I think Jeff Goldblum was made for that role. Just his strange
he
characteristics.
is a strange dude.
Yeah, and he was actually in pretty good shape during that movie too. So you saw his chest and how it just combobulate and
Combobulate.
Did you pause it on that part and kind of watch it over and over again?
Well, it was odd.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have any device, or we never really had the movie where we could pause it.
I remember. I think his penis fell off, and he kept it in his medicine cabinet.
Oh wow.
I don't recall that.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his body, as he was
oh,
turning
there's
into,
a picture of what you're talking about. You being all excited about his chest.
yeah,
Oh, jeez.
You're right. It was horrific.
yeah.
Ugh.
And then his final transform when he pukes on his food, and then sucks it back up, like a fly does, I guess.
Ugh.
Yeah, as he turns into it, his body parts kind of fall off.
That was a long time ago. I'm trying to figure out. I don't remember how it ended.
I don't remember how it ended.
He
either.
stuck a shotgun in his mouth,
Oh, he killed himself.
because he tried to send himself back through. He wanted to merge because his girlfriend was pregnant. He wanted to merge with his girlfriend and his baby, so that he wanted to be one big thing, right? So he was trying to throw her into his little pods. She got out, and he was half hanging out, so he merged with the metal and everything.
Ugh, that's right.
So he was a huge mess.
and he was all crawling around.
And he's
all
like, kill me. So he got the shotgun and blew his head off.
wow. And that was Gina Davis.
Yes.
Yeah, I always thought she was. She married the karate guy.
Huh?
Karate guy.
Drawing a blank. Steven Seagal.
No. No, she didn't.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So who did she marry?
She married the director of Cutthroat Island. I don't remember his name. Remy something.
She was a cutie, though.
Back in the day,
Yeah, Gina Davis. I mean, she was in Poltergeist, and she was League of
she
Your
was
Own.
not in Poltergeist.
No. What did I say?
You said Poltergeist.
I meant Beetlejuice.
Oh, yes, she was in that.
I meant Beetlejuice. She was in Beetlejuice and A League of Their Own and Thelma and Louise.
She was in, probably the best known was Thelma and Louise.
No. Oh.
Yeah, she was a cute actress.
The lady
back
in
then.
red married Steven Seagal. Kelly LeBrock.
Oh, it was Kelly LeBrock. You're right.
Yeah.
She was in Weird Science.
Yes.
They look the same.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. Kelly LeBrock was on another level.
They look exactly the same.
Yeah, all the hotties.
Carbon copies.
All the hotties look the same.
And Steven Seagal is quite the character, and he's had quite the history. I find Steven Seagal to probably be one of the most dangerous men on the earth.
Like still,
Still,
like,
even
like more
about that.
dangerous than Chuck Norris.
I see these little
for
these little
sure.
videos of him
Hey,
disarming people,
well,
and all the comments are like, "Yeah, that's not going to happen in real life."
well, he's probably one of the few guys that can do it.
You think he
he's
can
a-
still pull that off?
He
don't
still
know.
goes out there and does shows and trains people every single day. I'm not saying he could pull it off, but they won't let him play.
He has a widow's peak.
They won't let him compete in mixed martial arts because they say he's too dangerous.
Okay, that has got to be.
No, he's
urban.
like 70 years
That's
old now.
got to be urban myth.
No, that's not. That was Joe Rogan had said that on his podcast.
Oh well, if Joe Rogan said it.
Well, he's kind of the authority on MMF. I mean, he's a commentator for the program.
I don't know. I don't know his
We're gonna-
skill level. I know he has a black belt or whatever. So I don't know.
So Steven
I just know
Seagal,
he's like 70 years old today, and he's overweight.
Oh, hugely. But I'm just saying, even
Maybe-
the way he is right now, he's probably still one of the most dangerous guys.
All right, well, let's do
I
it.
don't know.
Classic
Put him in a room
matchups.
with another guy.
Put him in a
Chuck
room.
Norris,
Or, all right, how
Chuck
about
Norris is 4 feet tall.
Bruce Lee.
You beat me to it. I
He's
was
dead.
trying to set that up. Who wins that? Bruce Lee? Or
Well, Bruce
Steven
Lee's going to
Seagal?
win. Bruce Lee was in a league all of his own.
He was fast. He was
You
so
know,
fast.
yeah, that was really it. I
But
mean,
he also had like.
I don't know what.
I mean, that made him scarier, right?
I don't know.
so-
He was ripped. Look at that.
He was ripped. Kind of skinny though.
Yeah, but he kick your ass.
Oh,
The thing
really?
about it is that they had
Yeah,
I don't know if
a
he's skinny.
they had a
he has
video
no
back
fat
in
on him.
1967 that they put out, and they had like 25 fighters come from around the world, and it was a black and white video, and they were showing Bruce Lee perform some of the things that he does, and the fighters were like, well, I need to get in there and get close to what you're doing, and one of them was he was simply collapsing his hand from being open into a fist,
Right.
and he was moving people for like 15 feet, and they were just like, that's bullshit. I'm going down there. I want you to do that to me. And sure enough, boom, he did it to the point where one of the guys,
Bruce Lee was doing that to people.
Bruce Lee was doing it. He would just like move his hand 3 inches from it being open palm, sticking in their chest, into a fist, and he would move them 15 feet. They'd fall in a chair and they would slide back.
Wow.
Just incredible speed.
Like magical powers.
Well, I mean, there was at least one person from that group that decided to work under him. But Bruce Lee's amazing.
Well, plus
It's too bad he died. I mean,
yeah,
such
plus
young.
he had an aneurysm, I think, didn't he? Plus he
What did he die of?
he used nunchucks.
Oh, nunchucks.
Dude, he was a beyond a master with nunchucks. He would play ping pong, okay,
With nunchucks?
with his nunchucks. Where
Really?
you have someone on the other side with a paddle, and he's smacking back with the nunchucks.
Oh, look, they're showing a video of that.
It's incredible. I mean,
Oh, no way. Oh, get out of town. That's totally.
they did not have Photoshop back then, so the video is
That
clearly
is
showing some
completely
guy with a ping
Photoshopped.
pong paddle. Throw a little audio in there.
Oh, I almost call bullshit on this because
I
why is
call
that camera
bullshit.
so jumpy?
It's very jumpy.
That's not real, Sean.
It's not real.
One thing, that's not Bruce Lee.
Who is it? He's wearing the same jump suit
That is
So-
that is 100% not
from
real.
that was what he was, the sidekick from Dragnet.
And you're telling me they had
And not to mention the ball angles don't look right.
that's not Bruce Lee. And you're telling me they had like
Well, first of all, it says Bruce Lee ping pong full version.
I could make a video of me
No, you
doing that
cannot.
and say Bruce
Oh,
You
Lee.
I can't.
cannot.
I
And
can. I did.
that is back when he was playing. The outfit came from Dragnet.
That was-
he
that
was
was
a
not
sidekick
real.
from Dragnet.
I do not believe
that was not real.
All right, well,
real
fact check
at all.
it. Fact check that.
That was not real.
That's
All right.
completely stupid.
Look at the comments.
Well, I mean, let me see here.
I don't believe it.
That may be one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. So dumb.
It was a promotional spot created in 2008 by Nokia for a limited edition Bruce Lee cell phone.
You don't have to be so mean about it, Jeff. God, so condescending and aggressive.
A
So
Bruce Lee
I
lookalike
think-
was used.
I want to know what he died of. He did. You think he died of an aneurysm?
I think
huh?
it was an aneurysm.
Huh.
No, the Bruce Lee nunchucks ping pong video is not real.
Oh, dang it!
No, you know what?
No, we can't believe it. We were stunned.
Yeah.
Sean, we're stunned.
Well, I just whatever, dude. You see, I saw it, kind of like, what the fuck, man?
No, it's
I mean, how
entertaining.
would you know, right? All right. Cause of death revealed. Tender age of 32. Never-ending string of conspiracies and rumors. And let's do it. Let's do it. What did he finished filming in Hong Kong? He collapsed suddenly to the shock of his team. He diagnosed with cerebral edema,
Edema, which is
a condition the fluid builds up around the brain.
Yeah, I knew it was something with the brain.
Yeah.
I wonder if he got hit in the head or something.
I don't know. Swelling around the brain. Isn't that a common, not common, but a boxing thing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I wonder if he got hit really
Yeah,
hard.
yeah,
Or
I think
too
it
many
is.
times maybe or something.
He took a nap and never woke up.
He had a very odd diet as well, and I
Huh.
don't know what it all consisted of, but is some of it was raw eggs, and just to drop the body fat down. He wanted no body fat.
Well, you could see that.
Yeah, he had no body fat. I can pretty much.
Well, Rocky did that too. Remember that scene? Where he
Yeah,
drank
that was-
6 raw eggs.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, that's.
I think Preston has done that.
Good Lord.
I think.
I mean, why can't you just cook it?
I know.
I mean, does
what's the
it-
difference? Are you losing some kind of nutritional value if it's raw?
This is crazy.
So what other? We got Chuck Norris. He's probably totally full of crap. Who was the other guy that did a lot of fighting in his movies?
Jackie Chan?
John Van Claude.
I'm thinking Van Claude. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Van Damme.
Yeah, Van Damme. Remember Blood Fist?
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Yeah, there you go.
He was
Sounds like a
another one.
porn.
Van Damme.
Blood Fist.
Yeah,
Blood Fist.
Blood Fist.
God.
Come against the Blood Fist.
I remember I saw Bloodsport, and
When you realize it's the wrong time of the month.
yeah.
Oh, gross.
And he did the where he did the splits. It was
Yeah.
like
That was a blood sport for
it was
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, that was impressive. And he always had the one-line zingers, kind of like Arnie. But Arnie didn't like,
Yeah, and he made a
flip
lot of
around
good
and shit.
movies. He made Time Cop.
Time Cop was a great movie,
Yeah, and then
mainly because Mia Farrow was in it.
They dumped him though for some reason.
yeah, he got in trouble. I don't know if he was beating his wife or there were some accusations of something like that. I think, and then he disappeared. Then he came back and was making some like really bad B movies.
So he lost his A-lister status.
He
huh?
did. He
Well,
did.
That's what happens when you.
Wonder what happened. Yeah.
He did.
Time Cop's a great movie, though.
Yeah.
I want to go back and watch that again. Huh. We're trying to look up what happened to him. How did he lose his... Oh, there we go. It's Steven Seagal incident.
2008 actor Sylvester Stallone declared to British magazine FHM that at a party in my home in Miami in 1997, Van Damme was tired of Steven Seagal claiming he could kick his ass, so he offered Seagal outside into my backyard. According to Stallone, Seagal made his excuses and left while Van Damme tracked him down at the nightclub and challenged him again. Stallone finished by stating Van Damme was too strong, so Seagal wanted none of it.
Yeah, this is Sylvester Stallone's side of the story, version of the story, I guess, here. Yeah,
Well,
but I mean, come on. I mean, these guys, if they're truly martial arts experts, they've been trained their entire lives to do everything they possibly can not to fight.
Correct.
It's an absolute last resort. You have body self control, mind self control. You don't do.
Well, that's what
stupid
that is.
stuff.
I think it's more defensive than offensive.
Yeah,
isn't
of
it?
course. Like,
I haven't taken any of it, so I don't know.
well, I'm a black belt, and that's my attitude. I only fight when I absolutely have to.
You black belt like Putin.
Like,
Putin.
no.
Is he like 7th level and they stripped him of it?
Did he claim that? Putin claims that?
Yeah, they stripped him of his.
Because he invaded Ukraine.
Yes.
That's why they took his belt away.
Yes.
so he was
wow.
a 7th degree black belt.
Yeah, something like that. But I
The
wonder if
hell,
it was
man.
authentic or they just kind of went.
I just
He's supreme leader. Yeah, you can do what you want.
I was going to say, isn't it like what do you call it when you get a degree from an honorary degree?
right.
It's an honorary
Mm.
belt.
Right.
Kind of like
Honorary
the
belt.
Nobel Peace Prize for Obama.
You know.
Oh, that was nauseating.
yeah,
Don't get us started on that.
going back to
We're doing
the.
good. We're not talking about politics.
Well,
Just keep going.
I got one more movie I want to talk about. See if you guys
All right.
like it.
Is
or
it
not.
Carrie?
No.
Oh.
Well, do you want to talk about that?
No. I just was wondering if it's Carrie because I was thinking that could be one because that had a really gross scene. The only thing I remember about Carrie
Isn't that the
was all the
car,
blood.
The car that's alive?
No.
No,
That was
Yeah, it was.
Christine.
that's Christine. Yeah.
Oh, who's Carrie?
Yeah.
Carrie
Carrie's
is
a
Sissy Spacek.
yeah. She was
she
made
what, she goes
fun
around killing people?
of at her senior prom.
She got bullied.
yeah, she got bullied and during
She was a
one
witch.
year, and then she ended up accidentally dying or something. And
No.
was she murdered?
No.
Something that
She
happened.
a zombie?
and
She a man-eating vampire?
there was a tremendous amount of blood.
Well, what happened is they rigged the prom queen, so she won. So she went up on stage and was so happy. She was a bullied girl.
Oh, and they were mocking her.
Mocking her. So they made her win, and then one of the bitch women was up, but she had a big bucket of like cow blood.
Oh.
And then dumped it over, and it went all over in front of the whole school. So she was standing there. That's what that scene is, where she's
and then
all
she
covered in
caught
blood.
the place on fire.
Yeah, and then she's a witch, right? So she cut the place on fire, and
So at prom, she burned the prom
yes,
venue down,
yes,
and then what's the rest of the movie about?
that was
That's
basically
essentially
the end.
it.
Yeah,
Well, what the hell is the rest of the movie about?
her getting picked on, basically.
Yeah.
And
leading
it
up
ends
to that
with her
moment.
burning down the whole
Well, the
place.
opening scene was her in the girls' shower having a period,
That was hot.
and that's where
Oh.
the fun they started picking fun at her.
Oh, wow.
It's a Stephen King story.
I mean, it has merit. I mean, it was a pretty creepy ass.
Yeah,
The
it's been
movie.
remade.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's been remade.
Yeah, I don't even actually
Actually, I've
didn't even
seen it,
remember it.
but
Oh, they have the 2013 version
Yeah.
and then the 76 version.
no, the one I was going to say was the Blair Witch, which at the time,
That was annoying as fuck.
It was completely annoying, and I thought it was a completely stupid movie.
yeah, it gave me a headache when I saw it in the theater.
And it ended up being nothing. They showed you nothing. They did nothing. Did anybody even die in the movie? I don't
Well,
remember.
that's the thing. Again, you don't see anything, right? So it was all cerebral.
Yeah,
So-
but they made a shitload of money off
Yeah,
a
they
little
did.
8mm
It was
fucking camera.
completely stupid.
Yeah, they made a bunch.
And then people like the rumor started that it was like
It's
actually real.
It's real.
Actually, it's somebody's footage.
Yeah, well, that spurned off, a sequel. Then the Paranormal Activities, which I never saw. I never saw those where they have the home cams picking up the ghosts through the house and stuff like that.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, so that you have that one as well.
Wasn't there another movie where everybody complained that it was so herky jerky that it just made everybody sick?
Blair Witch was like that.
Yeah. Then there was another one like that everybody.
I don't
It
know.
got a lot of coverage. A lot of I don't remember what the damn movie was.
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't like that. I don't like that camera bouncing around thing. That seems to be like a new thing.
Well, it was back then, which was the early '90s, I think, when it came out.
It's a technique. I mean,
Yeah, I don't like
I don't
it.
subscribe to it. It's
I don't
funky.
at all.
Well, now they have what I call horror porn, right? Which is just violence
Yeah, they
for
do.
violence. It's not necessarily scary. It's just let me see if I can gross you out. Like
Was Hostel was one of those.
Hostel was terrible,
You know, but it was so.
I never watched that one.
and Saw is another one.
Oh, come on. Yeah, it's like, give me a break.
I'm laughing because one I watched, it was completely ridiculous, and it was just violence,
Yeah,
nothing but violence. Who's the guy? The guy in National Treasure,
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. He's in this. He's in it, and I guess it's like a cult movie. It's like no, not a cult movie. It's got a certain genre to it. Nicolas Cage, violent movie.
Ghost Rider.
Shelly and I actually watched it, and it
Was
was
it a new one?
It's not that old. I would say it's probably 10 years old.
Wicker Man.
You wouldn't even know what it is, honestly. It was
I don't know.
it was crazy. But it was so ridiculously violent. Anyway.
Hold on. Nicolas Cage violent movie.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
You talking about Face Off?
No. Oh, no, it was literally a movie like
Primal. Jiu-Jitsu.
dang, what was it?
Just
Why don't
gonna
they show
go through
pictures
them
of it?
all.
No, it's older than that. Older than that.
Kill Chain.
Keep going.
I
It's
haven't
older
heard
than
of
that.
any of these. Jeez.
Might be Mandy.
Mandy? Never heard of it.
Yes.
Well, he does have a lot.
It's Mandy.
What, Mandy?
Yes.
By a nightmarish hippie cult?
Yeah, that's it. And he just goes around just killing everybody, I think. Oh, I mean, I think it's kind of like the one with Keanu Reeves, right? Where a cult killed his girlfriend or wife or something.
Oh, so
So he's like Vendetta.
Yeah, he vendettas them. Yeah, kind of like what John Wick.
yeah, they killed John Wick's dog.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a mistake, wasn't it?
John looks good though.
He
yeah.
done fucked up now. You
Yeah.
pissed him off. He should never killed his dog.
And it ends up being just totally over the top violent.
Well, I know when I watch Hostel, and the first half of the movie is just boring, whatever, and then all of a sudden it kicks into gear. You're just like, why am I watching this?
I
Right.
don't like gratuitous amounts of violence or anything like that. There's no room for that in my life. If the kids want to go see a horror movie, I'm not going with them. If there's a movie that is even, it's not for me.
You like nudity over violence.
I think we all do, don't we? I
Well,
mean, come on.
But come on, I
Well,
mean,
what about
honestly,
a war? What about a war movie?
Well, pending. I mean, if it's based on, it depends. I mean, some violence is different, like Saving Private Ryan or something like
Yeah.
that. That's
That
kind
comes to
of
mind.
different. But the shock and awe of like the Hostel movie. I mean, that's
Right.
just
I think there's
no room for that.
I'm hoping that those have come and gone because for a while there was Hostel, there was Saw, then there was that frickin' movie, The Human Centipede. I don't know if you've seen
Oh,
that,
good
No.
Lord.
which is just. I think he was trying to outdo everybody, right?
See,
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, there are certain scenes from movies where, there's violence or there's gore, and it really sticks with you, right? Do you remember the scene in where they cut the dude's leg off in the bathtub?
It's like Scarface.
Scarface. Yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that movie.
Yeah,
yet.
that
Oh my
movie
God.
that scarred me.
That scarred me too.
I didn't want to watch any of that shit anymore. I'm kind of like, really?
Maybe that's why you don't watch those kind of movies anymore.
That
Yeah. Well, maybe it was because that happened early in my life.
that was an amazingly gory scene. But the whole movie wasn't that way, really. I guess.
Well, I mean, no, it wasn't. But there was just a lot of. There was first of all, the actor Kapeshi. No, what is his name?
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino did a fantastic job.
Oh, it was
as
a great movie.
working for a drug. Who did he work for?
I mean, yeah, it was a drug cartel.
Yeah,
or
that
some
Was
was
that the one who goes, "Meet my little friend" or something like that?
Well, I get yes. Say hello to my little
And
friend.
that's Michelle Pfeiffer,
know?
right? That was his sister.
Yeah, well, they had
Oh, I don't
like
know.
several. They had, I think, two movies, and then basically his his partner ended up banging his sister, and that was a huge no.
Oh yeah.
And but there's so many one-liners from Al Pacino, and
I would have
and
to
he's-
watch that.
he's
I've
got
never
his
seen it.
friend. He sticks out his tongue, and he makes makes that little noise. And Al Pacino's like, "Hey, put that thing back in your mouth. You look like a fucking lizard." You know? Just these little one-liners, and he's got that huge mound of cocaine on his
At the
desk.
end.
At the very end, he sticks his face in there. He's
Yes.
like,
Oh yeah.
and he picks up that big
Because
old
he knows
Spitfire
he-
M60, and he's like, "Say hello to my little friend." He comes outside to
Because he knows he's coached, right?
Oh
he knows
yeah,
that's
we
the
went out
end.
blazing, man, and there's people coming. There's he must have killed 500 people
Oh,
based
yeah.
on
Oh, yeah.
and he gets shot 15,000 times.
It was like Commando.
It was
Or Rambo.
ridiculous.
He's like Rambo.
Yeah, exactly.
But the spirit behind the movie, which scared me, and the cartel and all that kind of stuff, is that there are people out there that do that kind
I
of shit. You know
know.
that shit's real.
I
You
think
know,
it is
and-
too.
And they're kind of like, where they were having lunch, and they were like, "Hey, you remember your accountant that wouldn't authorize our tax deductions? He's on that helicopter right there."
Yeah.
So moving forward, these are what we want to do with our taxes. Do you have a problem with that?
Yeah,
Nope.
no, I think I'm on board.
Yeah, once you're in with that,
oh,
there's
you're
no
done.
out. There's only one
Yeah.
way out.
I know.
It's kind of like that Netflix movie with
Oh yeah.
I fucking can't stand
Talking
my
about
brain.
Ozarks.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you, man. I spent 15 minutes trying to figure out the damn.
Yeah,
the Ozarks.
And then
it's-
Breaking Bad, same deal.
Breaking Bad was fantastic.
So
man,
we're
I
still
tell
watching
you.
it. We're probably one. I don't know. I think there are 5 seasons. We're halfway, almost done with the 4th season.
Oh,
So
man.
don't spill anything on that one. But oh yeah,
No, it's been a long
once you
time
get
since
in,
I've seen it.
once you get in, you're done.
But as
There's
soon
no
as
there's no getting out.
the
Yeah.
movie ends, there's another movie I'm sorry. As soon as the series ends, there's a movie that
Breaking. It came out like a decade later, though.
perhaps
Breaking Bad has a movie.
There's a movie. Yeah.
it
Oh, okay, good.
it talks about his partner.
Yeah, Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, it talks about his partner on a scene that's coming up.
Okay,
So
don't tell me. Don't tell me.
There's,
Don't tell me.
there's well, I mean, there's a time in there where he disappears. That movie is when he disappears.
Ah, very cool. We've already watched Better Call Saul.
I want to watch that.
Yeah,
So
I
I've already
haven't seen
watched
yet.
that, and that was the prequel to Breaking Bad.
Correct.
So we watched it out of order, which I think gave it a really unique perspective, as opposed to the way most people saw it. Right. So
Yeah, well, I think that
anyway, it's
was a better.
Better Call Saul was absolutely
I haven't seen it
amazing.
yet. It was great.
Yeah, I would say it's probably one of the best shows I've ever watched. And the reason is because they pay so much attention to these little details that are just so funny. I mean, Shelley was kind of like, "Oh my God," and I was just giggling and laughing and I mean, there's just little things that I mean, so much effort and thought went into all the little things they do in that show, and it's great. I loved it.
Well, think about Breaking
Seriously,
Bad.
I would put it up against. I'd put it up against Game of Thrones.
Really?
In that good of a series for me. For me,
so
it was.
Breaking Bad. What I liked about the Breaking Bad series is that it wasn't gory.
Well, the first scene was.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't watch
Yeah,
it.
that was it though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we're finding out. Even Shelley said that like last night or the night before. She's like, "Yeah, that first scene was nothing else has been like that."
Yeah, that's kind of a.
I find it funny that you don't like horror movies and the gore.
Yeah, it's not for me, man.
Yeah,
That
they
is
don't
interesting.
bother me. I mean, I could do without it, but it's if I'm watching a movie and someone explodes or something like that, it doesn't bother me. Right?
I'll
I've seen some of those movies where
I'll
it's like,
change
wow,
the
that was
entire
mess.
night just to avoid that kind of stuff.
Again, I think there are certain scenes in certain movies that affect you. Have you ever seen Looper?
Yes.
Okay, so you remember the scene where they're torturing him in the past, and so he starts to walk towards, and suddenly his leg disappears, and he falls,
Right.
and then his fingers disappear, and then this disappears, and they start torturing his body. Scenes like that stick with you.
Right.
Yeah, but that was crazy because he never actually felt it.
That's right.
But it was just all of a sudden it just happened. He was kind
It
of
just
like,
happened.
"Oh, that sucks."
Yeah, and they wrote on his arm, like they started writing. You could see it says, "Give us the money" or something, whatever it was. I forget. And he's sitting there looking at it, and his eyes getting big, and he's like, and all of a sudden his finger goes whoop, and then whoop, whoop, and then his arm goes whoop, and then his leg goes whoop. I mean, it's just like crazy. Just really interesting. I mean, I don't know if
That's
that was
called
really
Looper.
Looper. It's got
great
Bruce
movie.
Willis. and-
I've seen it, man. It
one of the
was
other guys, yeah.
pretty crazy because they were trying to figure out how to stop it, and
I love those time travel movies, though.
Yeah,
They're just
those
great.
fascinate me. The Terminator movies fascinate me. Just the whole time continuum
Yep.
flaw that you can always find a hole.
You can always find a
Always.
flaw.
You're like, well, if you knew this was going to happen,
Why not just bury a gun right underneath your feet?
yeah,
right,
And then you
Yeah.
can reach down and get it right and boom, shoot him. Right.
right,
yeah, or hire somebody.
right.
Whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting.
Hey, I
we
need
get
you to be
into
here.
these circular.
Yeah, it
Right.
drives Julie nuts. She's like, stop, just stop.
Yeah, just enjoy it.
Right.
It's a mind bender. It's fun.
Yeah.
I thought Looper was great.
I'm gonna have to watch it again. I saw that when it came out, so it's been a few years. So I'm gonna have to watch it again.
I want to watch it again too. Let's do that. Let's do a Dudes Like Us movie night.
Oh,
And
well, we
we'll
tried
watch,
doing that.
we'll
then
watch
we'll watch-
Hostel and then Looper.
No, we're not watching Hostel.
we're not
I've
gonna
never
watch
seen it,
Hostel.
and I
This
don't want to
isn't-
watch it.
This
How about
isn't
the
a package deal.
How about the butthole movie, Human Centipede?
Oh no, we're not going to
I'm
watch that.
good
You know what's
on-
funny about that movie
Oh,
is I told my sister. I
God.
told my sister about it.
2 chicks, 1 cup.
No, it's not that bad. I told my sister about it, and this was a long time ago when it first came out on DVD. And she lived outside of Washington D.C. at the time, and we were going out there to visit her. And she's like, "I'll rent it so we can watch it together." I was like, "I don't really want to watch this, but okay."
Which one? The
The Human Centipede.
Oh yeah.
So we went out there, and we never watched it.
Oh, you
Thank
did
goodness,
not.
we never watched it. But she had it. That's when Netflix was going, so you could have it for like a week or whatever, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So after we left,
Remember those days? That was so weird.
yeah, after we left, she ended up calling me. She goes, "I want you to know, I sat by myself in the middle of the day watching that movie. I hate you.
And she kept watching it.
And she
even
watched
though...
the whole thing.
Okay, well that's on her.
Yeah, I was like, so were all your windows open and people were watching what you saw on TV as their buttholes were sewn together or whatever they did? And she still to this
I know
day.
nothing about that movie, but that's all you had to say for me never to watch it.
Well, mouth to butthole.
Yeah.
They made a
So
centipede.
it's like somebody eats
Why?
a Subway sandwich and it gets processed 50 times.
Yeah.
Why?
It's a great question.
And so that's just some weird, demented. Okay, this goes back to the really crazy part about this. We've talked about before how many people are involved in the making of a movie. It's shocking. I mean, we
Right.
never pay attention to the credits, but all those freaking millions of names that go flying by, right? There's literally hundreds of people that are involved in the making of a movie.
Thousands.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Thousands. It could be thousands.
well, there were like 150 people in that line. So
And
Well, the first one there was only 3.
And it takes like 3 years from like beginning to end to make a movie. Like you got to get the screenplay, you got to,
Right.
and then you got to find
Well,
the actors.
that's why those actors make so much money. It's like, oh my God, I need to make $40 million because I'm working 3 years straight.
But are you following me here?
Right. Yeah.
Hundreds of people involved, possibly 1,000. 3 years to make it.
And they all went, this is awesome.
Let's do this. Let's make a movie about sewing lips to assholes, and we'll make a human centipede.
But
Yeah.
those actors,
Yeah, but we keep talking about it.
but
It's-
those actors
Right?
had to have their faces tied to their coworkers' butts as they filmed.
during the filming.
Yes. So
You think
their
they were
face
into
was
that?
in their crack. I
Oh,
doubt
man,
it.
I would have been up. Sorry, Bob.
So hold on, you guys are not into that? I'm a little confused. You're not into that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass.
Yeah,
I'll
pass.
be the guy in the front
We
eating
got a
the
hard
sandwich.
pass here.
Yeah, I'll
Hard
be the
pass,
front
we got a-
guy.
I'll be
I
the
get-
front guy
I'll-
eating the sandwiches.
I'll get the
mild
good
pass.
food.
I'm going to take that as a mild pass. We had a hard pass over here.
No, I'll pass. So anyway, I think that
so
there is that
gross.
section of horror movies that just
They're just
I don't
shock
consider
value.
them. I don't consider them horror.
Yeah, they're just
it's
stupid shock value. Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah, I hear you.
Correct.
I understand.
So anyway, I think we beat that. We didn't get to a lot of them, but I wrote a lot of them down. But
Oh, well, I'll tell you. How about some? Oh, we got the theme. Yeah, I'll tell you what. There's a movie traveling from the
Time
United
travel?
States over to Germany,
Ah.
and that long flight. We watched Airport 1977,
Oh, yeah.
1976. An
Yeah.
airplane falling down
yep.
into the ocean.
Oh, that's a great idea for them to be showing that
they showed
it
on
on
the
the-
airplane.
Yeah,
That's a really good idea. I've
Yeah.
never seen that movie.
No, that's one of the disaster. We can get to that sometime and talk about all the
Yeah.
disaster movies.
Yeah, like Towering Inferno, Poseidon Adventure.
Earthquake.
there was somewhere.
There's a
boat,
lot of
there's
really
a
good
boat
ones
that
there.
capsized, and then they were fighting
Poseidon
their way through
Adventure.
it.
That's
Is
Poseidon
that
Adventure.
Adventure.
I actually like that movie.
That was a great movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we beat the shit out of the movies. This is we have a fantastic second half of the podcast coming up. We've got a bourbon we're going to reintroduce so we can start adding them to the our Infinity bottle, which we're super excited about because we're going to auction it off for about $1 billion.
Okay, when did we say we're going to auction it off?
Just easy.
I'm not doing that.
Well, I think we're going
I'm
to.
not on board.
We'll see about it. We'll find a little
See,
bit.
this is where we end every podcast with you guys saying stupid shit and I get upset.
Yeah, well, dudes like us. I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
Auctioning it.